The previous slide, it is showing in the dry land, laterite stone, like a water, like a regenerative farming system in the like around 500 acres RNA has taken up and supported the farmers harvesting under different landscapes. So water harvesting is the key. If you want to go with the dry land agriculture, dry land horticulture, and then the food forest, whatever you want to grow, first is the water harvesting. If you do the water harvesting, the previous slide is speaking about if we do the plantation there. So to do the plantation today, if you rain, next day morning, no moisture at all. That kind of soils it is. Because of the water harvesting, we could be able to store that much of water. And then in a year, maybe 2 months was life-saving irrigation was given. So all the farmers, all the farmlands with the food forest was developed. That you could see in all the farmers' lands. And then this is the one of the area where the water conservation was done. So this is the water, like just one trench, how much water can be stored. You can just calculate. So at 10 meters and 1 meter and depth of 1 feet, you can see how many liters of the water. Like in a 1 acre, how many trenches are there, how many pits are there. So this is something like we can see without water conservation. If you do it, maybe in a week time, the moisture will go away in the croplands. Maybe this one will help the crop to get the moisture, to get the, like there is a sensitive stages in the crop. It will transform the moisture into the crop. Crop will give the fruits, maybe pods that will generate your yield, increase in yield and your economy. So that's where the water is directly linked to our livelihoods, our income, our food, so many things. Aranya has worked in around 30,000 hectares. Aranya worked in 30,000 hectares. Water conservation, water harvesting works was done. Like water is something which we feel like something like you can see when there is no water, when the water is there, entire life is there only. When I used to work in the tribal areas, when there is no tank in the village, new tank was established and supported by the JICA. Then that time, when I go to one time before tank formation, there is a total migration is there. It's after 1.5 years after the formation of that tank. So when I'm in Kurnool district in Rayalaseema, and it's not prone area, drought prone district. Rayalaseema means it's like less than 150, 200 mm rainfall. In that area, like you could see with the farm ponds was taken up in the large scale in all over the district, where the dry areas are there, drought areas are there. They could be able to store the water. The same water has given for the irrigated dry crops, for life-saving irrigation. Instead of losing so much of money, they could be able to grow some crops, chili, cotton, and some millets. So their income, they are not got affected economically, their livelihoods are there. Like that, there are so many changes we could see around to the water in the drought areas. That's where I said it's a preparedness is very important. When in the drought areas, anyway, drought is a water governance is a very important, and resilient production systems are important. Once water governance is there, water storage is there, you can work on the resilient productive systems. Completely on migration. So in 1 acre, out of 5 acres, he could be able to keep 1 acre for the only water storage. And once when our project is supported there, and he had dug the 1 acre of the farm pond, he could be able to store a good amount of the water, and completely he stopped going migration to Mumbai. Entire their family is in Adoni back. So there is so many case studies, there is so many examples. Water is something like a precious source of our lives. Next. The same water, life-saving irrigation has been taken up. There is no power also in the black soils in Kurnool areas and Adun areas. There is no power also, but it could be able to use the machines, engines to provide the life-saving irrigation. Yes, next. And then another thing which I can say is the tank restoration of the water bodies. You can go to the next slide. So around this year, around 57 lakh cubic meters of the water we could be able to store. So why this was happened is you can go to the next slide, Angkor. This one, like just landscape is very important to store more water. How I can use that soil, taking out the tank silt, using into the farmlands. So this is the farmlands which we can see they applied. Maybe the farmers, every farmer knows about it. If I apply the tank silt, maybe it will be useful for my soil texture and then moisture content, yielding, everything will increase, less cost in the weeds. So this is what they're explaining about it. Now, once they have seen the results of the tank silt, this is the farmers which they are so happy. So how much they less investment cost on the input cost around per acre 2,000 to 2,500 rupees. Instead of 5 weedings, they got for the 2 weedings, and less in the fertilizer application, moisture holding capacity when the long dry spells comes. This is where other place they could see so much of results. Okay. In all kinds of projects, we worked on how we can improve the crop water productivity in the minor, medium, major irrigation projects in the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh states. Like that is a very good experience which we have. There we took, because it's like farmers are doing just burning. So the same place where we took is and started with the pyrolysis system, making to the biochar and charging it, and the application to the farmlands. It is a biochar is something like it's like also a reserve in the soil, carbon fixation in the soils. So something like this is since last 3 years we are working on it. Started with the one farmer in my land and seen the results and scale it up to 2,000 farmers. And it's around 4,000 acres of the feedstock was turned into the biochar and applied into the 1,000 acres of the 1,000 farmers' fields. So it is giving so beautiful results, which is something water holding capacity and facilitating to the plant, and also it is also helping to get more yields. Last year, which we have seen in the like mango orchards, we have seen ginger, we have seen, and tomatoes, like all the vegetables crops we have seen. Cotton especially, which we can see, there's a parts, like there is a 10 to 12 parts per plant is a different. So there is so much of difference in the crop yields when you apply the biochar and water holding, moisture especially. And the urban areas, which I can say, so much of rooftop water harvesting is being taken up. And also there is some friends in Hyderabad. There is one woman in Jubilee Hills. She completely harvests the rainwater and stored it. She uses it, and she has a borewell. She doesn't even open on the borewell. So there are so many case studies how we can harvest the root water and store it and how we can use it. So this is something. Another thing which I can say is the awareness and consciousness to live with the nature is very important.